Look at this. I have to share this with you. We're in Catalina, Arizona right now. And right now, what you see is a concrete slab. Just a concrete slab. Your hands are cold, sweetheart. I'm sorry, they're so cold. Oh, Daddy, warm them up a little bit for you. What you see is a concrete slab here. But what I'm going to confess to you is that when I was a juvenile, I was not always a good boy. And I had to spend some time incarcerated in a juvenile prison or juvenile detention center. And where we're standing right now, I decided to take my wife on a little tour of the facility. Well, the facility doesn't exist anymore. It's been completely demolished. And what's cool is that we're actually able to drive on the property and drive around and just kind of, reminisce a little bit. And I can take my wife on a little tour of what was what and where I went, and just kind of that thing. So that's what we're done. I've driven up on a concrete slab here, this concrete slab that I'm kind of showing you. And this slab, it just blows my mind, because if you look at the shape of it, I'm going to show you something that's incredible. I spent 6 months on this concrete slab. 6 months of my life never coming out, never seeing the light of day. Well, that's not true. There's a little slab over there. If you look over there, it's over there that you could go. We got to play basketball and so on. Like for, I think 1 hour a day, we got to come out of our cell and we went and played basketball over there. But otherwise, this is where I had to stay, right here. All right, so now let me explain it to you as I show you the lines in the slab here. Okay, this line here, this corner line here that you see from this corner here to, let's see, right here, right there, okay? That little corner slab right there, do you see? That was my cell. That was where I spent 6 months of my life. Look how small it is. This little hole in the ground was where the toilet went, right there, okay? Over here is where my bed was. You can kind of see the, here on this right side here, this right side was where the bed was actually at. So this is how small of a cell I was confined to. We're talking less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 feet maybe. 7 feet by 10 is the size of this cell. I mean, this is one toilet here. This was the wall, a separating wall, and then this was your neighbor's toilet right here. Okay, so you had literally, you had 10 different cells running down this strip right here, this line strip, and that's where all the doors were at. And so you had one cell and then another cell over here. But look how small it is when you back up and you just, for perspective, somebody has to spend 6 months of their life in something so small as that. And remember, there's a cot that's on the right and a toilet on the left. That's 6 months of my life, people, for defending myself and breaking someone's nose when I was a child. Well, when I was already locked up for something else. But, people live and learn, right? You make mistakes as a child, and sometimes you have to learn the hard way. I was one of those kids. Didn't know I was an indigo child till my later adult life. Right here in the center was where the main guard panel was at. So you could see this big block here. That's where the guards sat here. And this main center area here was the little inside rec area. You had tables you could sit at, and you can come out and, during your rec time, you can either go outside or you could come out and sit. But over here on this part of the slab was where all the showers were at and toilets and, all of that. It looks like, I don't know what happened to this place, but it's fascinating, because this was back in I want to say 93 that I was here. 1993. I never thought after spending, and this is a whole other section over here of where they had other units, and you can kind of see this was right here, the big line in the ground. This was the separating wall, and then you had all the other cells, again, another 10 of them. You can see, well, let's count. 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? Yeah, 9. 1, 2, yeah, 9 different cells. And then the main hallway was right here. But anyway, I never in a million years thought that, what is it, 93, 2003, 2013, almost 30 years later, I would revisit this place and walk free on the concrete slabs. I just never thought back in 1993 when I was spending 6 months in that freaking little itty bitty cell that almost 30 years later I'd be bringing my family back here walking on the slabs. It's incredible. I spent a total of 18 months in this facility. 6 months in this lockdown facility because I broke a guy's nose in my unit. And I had to come here, and for 6 months in that little itty bitty corner, that's where I stayed until I was released into the general population again. The facility itself, that road kind of circles it. We're driving on it. Circles it. I stayed in a facility that was kind of off over there on the other side of the yard. I just drove up here to show my wife where the security unit was at. But look, the one fascinating thing that I have to say about the time that I spent behind bars was this view, the Catalina mountains. I mean, what a view. And let me tell you, in the winter months when it snowed and the mountains were covered with snow, and I would wake up in the morning, breathtaking views, unbelievably breathtaking views. This is what I remember the most of all about spending 18 months behind bars right here, is just, man. And this was back when I was like, what, 14 years old? Because I got released like 6 months before my 18th birthday. So, yeah, this is reminiscing. It's incredible. The old security unit that I served 6 months in, a little itty bitty cell. My wife asked me, you think those trees were here back then? I'm sure they were. I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure they were. But this is it. This is where I stayed, right here, 6 freaking months. Right here, slept here. This is just, you don't get opportunities like this often to come back and see something like this. And I had to capture it. I had to capture this moment. I had to take a video. This is just fascinating. Up here, let's walk up here real quick. This is the basketball courts. They would release us for an hour every day. And boy, did we look forward to that hour. And this was the little court that we got to come up to. And we got to do our exercising up here on these little courts. This was where we came to exercise. This was our exercising courts. Fascinating, huh? The place I spent 18 months of my life learning a hard lesson. A very hard lesson. Well, what was that hard lesson? If you do the crime, be prepared to do the time. Right, baby? Crime free. You do the crime, be ready to do the time. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catalina, the old, non-existent anymore, Catalina Mountain Juvenile Detention Center. Demolished. No longer here. Woohoo!